Hi there, welcome to Nonsense Whisky. My name's VinPF, and on today's episode we've got something from the Somerton Club. Now, if you have been following the channel for any length of time, you'll know I'm a member of a couple of subscription services in the UK. One of them is the Somerton Club, which sends me a full bottle of whisky every 2 months for 50 quid. Now, apologies from the start from people that are a bit further afield. I know that they have a possibility of shipping to Europe, but further than that, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get hold of the Somerton Club bottles. But although this is an exclusive bottling, and they have done 2 exclusive bottlings now, they are fairly regular bottles that you can get available elsewhere, but usually the Somerton Club is significantly cheaper than retail. More often than not it is. Sometimes it's maybe just shy, but it's always cheaper at time of release of those bottles. Anyway, so today, as I said, we've got an exclusive bottling from them. So we've got a lot to go through today. This is a Glen Ord 5-year-old, bottled by the Single Cask for the Somerton Club. Now, if we start at the bottom of that, start at the liquid and work up, and we'll talk about each of those in turn. So Glen Ord might not be a distillery that you're familiar with because it's a Diageo distillery. It's mostly included in their blends within the Diageo range. You don't really see much Glen Ord out there in the wild. They do have some singleton versions of their liquid, maybe some specials. There are obviously independent bottles like this one here, but it's a pretty rare find, I have to say, to get a Glen Ord like this for a reasonable price. This one is a 5-year-old, and as we can see, it's natural colour. That's one of the things we'll talk about in a little bit, but it's pretty cool to see something from that distillery. Now, the Single Cask, another brand you might not be fully aware of. They're a UK-based brand, independent bottler. They're doing wonderful things. It's a Single Cask brand, so every bottle that you're going to get is going to be some kind of Single Cask. They bottle at natural colour and, of course, non-chill filtered, all things that we like here on the channel. This one's at 46%. Generally speaking, they're bottling at cask strength, usually up in the 50s, something like that. And this one's been aged in an ex-bourbon barrel. Now, the thing I like about Single Cask, as you'll see from this bottle here, nice square bottle. It's pretty cool kind of design generally, but as you can see here, we've got the label on the front, nothing on this side, import tax on this side, nothing on this side. So that's it. That's all you've got on here. And generally the information is all really useful stuff. For instance, aged 5 years, gives me the cask number of the thing. It matured in a refill barrel. We know that's ex-bourbon. Distilled at Glen Ord, and we've got a distilled date, which is the 17th of the 4th, 14, and a bottle date, which is the 10th of March, 2020. Bottled for the Somerton Club, 46%, 700 millilitres, bottled in Scotland, and then down the side here, non-chill filtered, natural coloured. That's it. There's no marketing, there's no history, there's no weird made up story, there's no reason why that they've bottled this. They've just bottled it because it's good. Now, straight from the horse's mouth, from the Single Cask, is they say the reason why the labels are such is because they want the liquid to do the talking, which is, as we said here. Now, this is obviously a fairly pale whiskey, to be expected for a 5-year-old ex-bourbon, I have to say. But as you can see, they're not afraid to show that off even still. And why should they be? I have to say. Because a lightly coloured whiskey is not the end of the world. I know to some people, probably nobody watching this channel, I imagine everyone watching this video right now is more than happy to drink a pale whiskey if it tastes good. But there obviously are a wider market outside of us that are interested in colour. People walking through airports and things like that. Anyway, finally, we have the Somerton Club. This is how I got hold of this bottle, essentially. It's the first Single Cask bottle I've tried. It won't be the last, I have to say, but the good thing about independent bottles is you can pick and choose which distilleries you know you like. You don't have to spend hundreds of pounds on things that you don't know or haven't tried before, that sort of thing. But as per usual from the Somerton Club, it's a bottle that I wouldn't necessarily have picked up ordinarily, but I'm very glad to have had. Now, as you can see, I've tried quite a little bit of this now, so this isn't a neck pour review, but it's an interesting one nonetheless. Let's get into the glass and see what we've really got. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I will talk about colour today because we know it's natural coloured. Very pale, very straw-like. Absolutely fine with that. Indicative of the age. Smells great. Let's get onto the nose. Now, it's not a particularly complex nose. We're talking bags of creamy vanillas, loads of apples, pears, that sort of thing. Slight floral note to it. It's a little hay-like, but not a lot. Just a touch of kind of cereal notes on the back end. Let's get onto the palate. Now again, not overly complex, but hits you with this really nice kind of fruitiness. There's loads of vanillas in there, apples, pears again. The nose translates quite nicely to it. More of those floral notes, more of those malty notes at the back end, really small amount. And on the finish, it's kind of medium-ish, but it's kind of very peppery, which is a good thing. It gives it that kind of added dimension on the back end, which is just extra on top of the rest of the palate. Now for me, absolutely amazing dram. It's a really kind of light and delicate dram, which isn't the kind of thing I usually go for. At the moment, I'm after those kind of heavy hitting peat flavours and bourbons and that sort of thing. So exactly what I'm talking about. Ordinarily, I wouldn't have bought something like this, but boy, am I glad that I was sent it, because it's a flavour profile that I haven't really been introduced before. Glen Ord is not something that I've tried many times, so it's really great to be able to catch up with a distillery like that. Now the big unfortunate thing, of course, is that you're not going to be able to get this bottle anywhere else. This was an exclusive for the Somerton Club. If you're in the UK, I implore you to go and check them out so you don't miss out on stuff like this. Really good service. I've been with them for well over a year now, and I've been very happy with every bottle that I've received. But you can go on their website and you can check out their past bottles, and you can see if you think you might have missed out, if you might want to join a club like that. If the bottles aren't of any interest to you, then fair enough. Just one of those things. So yeah, unfortunately, you can't buy this bottle to be able to try what I'm trying today, which is a bit of a shame. But hopefully, this video has implored you to go and check out people like the Somerton Club, people like the Single Cask, maybe even have a look at some Glen Ords on the secondary market. Maybe don't spend too much money on those sorts of things, but check out the Singleton. I haven't tried those Singleton ones yet, but I'm definitely going to be looking for them now that I've tried something like this. Really nice one to receive.